Hey guys, it's Ryan from Kansas Bass Fishing, and today we're going to go over some of my favorite pond baits. These baits are baits I like to use because it's easier when you're covering a small body of water that's generally not as deep to use these baits and still catch a lot of fish. I have 2 topwater baits, 2 reaction baits, and I have 1 soft plastic here. And they're just easier generally to use at ponds because, like I said, you're not going to be fishing as deep of water. And for me, the ponds around here in Kansas, they're generally a little bit murkier, so these are easier for fish to pick up on for the most part. But I'll get started with the 2 topwater baits. The first one I like to use, and it's obviously pretty popular, is the popper. This is the Rebel popper, but any popper is going to work. And these are great to bring in bass in the mornings. I really enjoy using them. It's pretty simple, obviously. If you've ever used one, it's just a twitching motion, and it seems to draw them in. And plus, you can leave it out there for quite a while. You don't have to spend much time casting. You can have the bait in the water as long as possible, which is one of the main reasons I really like to use it. So that is definitely what I'd recommend. The next one I'd recommend is any sort of hollow belly frog. This one is a Booyah Pad Crasher. As you can see, it's pretty beaten up. I've had it for a long time, caught a lot of fish with it. But I like to use generally any pond that you're going to roll up on and it's going to have just a lot of moss in it, or it just seems like you're not going to find much open water when casting. This is a great bait to use because obviously you're going to be able to roll it over the top. It's weedless, and those bass just really seem to search it out. I recommend you have some different colors, different lights and darks. I have some black ones. Obviously, this one's like a bullfrog pattern. Yellow. Just vary your colors just based on the conditions. But yeah, I definitely recommend this brand. It's pretty solid. As you can see, it's gotten beaten up now, but I've had this for literally probably 3 years, and it still does the job. So recommended hollow belly frog. The next one, this is one I've been using for the longest time now, is a Baby 1 Minus crankbait by Mans. And I specifically recommend this one. It just seems to have the perfect wobble when fishing a pond. And I also recommend this size because they make a 1 Minus, which is significantly bigger. It's at least twice as big. But if you have smaller bass in your ponds, and around here we generally do, I really recommend one of these. They really seem to pick up on it. It's got the rattles inside. You can hear it. I'm trying to... And yeah, you can use it as a wake bait. A lot of people do, just skimming the surface. Or just it rolls really nicely over grass, and it doesn't seem to get hung up too much even for having a rounded bill. But yeah, it's a great bait. I've been using it for a long time. Catches big and small fish. But you're going to catch a lot of numbers using this bait, so I really recommend this at ponds. The next bait I have, and it's probably one that I'm going to use mostly on murky ponds, not so much in clear water, is a chatterbait. I believe this is a Z-Man chatterbait. I'm not sure which model. And then on the back of that I have it's a Bass Pro, some sort of paddle tail. I can't remember the exact name of the bait, but I cut it down to size so it'd fit better on this chatterbait. But again, this one's a good numbers bait when you're fishing in kind of muddy waters or anything, because obviously the vibration in the front is going to draw in the bass. And then I like to use a white color when I'm using in murky ponds. It seems like they pick up on it a lot better. But I also use a dark one, just depending on what the lake looks like. Alright, the last one, this one's the one you're going to be using a lot slower, and I usually like to use in clear waters, is a Senko. I think this is a Big Bite Baits Senko. I'm not 100% sure. It might be a Yum Dinger, but these are great. I like to fish it on with a spinning reel and fluorescent line with a fluorocarbon leader. Reason being, when you fish them weightless, it's a lot easier to pick up on a bite when it's sinking with a fluorescent line, because you can just watch it versus always having to feel it out, and you can fish it on slack line. But these really do seem to pick up a lot of fish. Again, all sizes. I think this is a 4/0 hook that I have in this one, and I'm not 100% sure of the color, but I mean, you can use just about any color fishing to really pick up on this bait. Well, those are my top 5 pond baits. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Thanks.